Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Eddie Jennings from EJSLLC.com. This video is going to be another in my RHCE practice session series where I am preparing for the Red Hat Certified Engineer exam. Before I dive in, I do want to thank returning subscribers for watching another video, as well as invite everyone who's watching, if you haven't subscribed yet, to click that subscribe button and ring the bell when you do, so you can be notified of when new content comes available. Also, feel free to leave comments on the video. You can ask questions, leave critique, leave praise. I'll respond as I have both time and ability to do so. So this video is going to continue with the objective group of use Ansible modules for system administration tasks that work with insert thing here. And what we're going to be looking at is services, or I guess maybe R services, for this particular video. I do want to remind you that this is not intended to be authoritative information, nor is it intended to be a tutorial, but rather it's an opportunity for me to talk about whatever the objective is at hand, to do a self-assessment of whether or not I feel I'm ready for the exam, or rather ready for exam tasks related to that objective. At the end of the video, ideally, I'll think, yes, I felt pretty confident about everything I talked about, and if not, then I'll put that on my list of things that I need to go over a bit more between now and 2 weeks from now when my exam happens. That being said, I do try to have the information as accurate as possible for you. So I'm in my Ansible control node, and the modules that we're going to look at, we have the service module, which you'd probably be using almost all the time. And then I also want to look at the systemd module as well. So let's do this. So we're going to make a little playbook. We're going to call it service test.yml, work with services, and let's do host. Just to keep things easy, we'll just work on one host. That'll make the playbook time be a little, or the run time for the playbook be a little quicker. Obviously, we're going to become for this. And first, I want to install HTTPD or Apache. So, name install Apache. You can do this for any service, but Apache is always a good one to work with. State present. All right, so for a normal configuration of services, you would simply, we'll use the service module for this. Let's do configure service. And the main parameters that you want, name of the service. I think you can use the full name as well, like httpd.service, otherwise just httpd is fine. The state, you can have started, stopped, and restarted, I believe, are the different states, but we're going to use started. And enabled. This is a key thing, because remember, on a Red Hat exam, everything has to survive a reboot, so I can't imagine them having anything on the exam that they would not want you to enable the service, but make sure that you do enabled. And as far as just configuring the HTTPD service, that would be about it. So let's run this real quick. Shouldn't take too long to install Apache and then get the service running. Now this wouldn't be, like, let's say the objective is, make a functioning web server. Well, there will be more things we'd have to do. We have to do firewall configuration and such right now, but for literally just installing Apache, this is kind of the bare minimum that you would do for that. And I'll just use an ad hoc command here. Systemctl status httpd. Let's see what that returns for us. All right, we see that it's active, it's enabled, and it is currently running and listening on port 80. Let's take a look at the doc for the service module. I don't think there's much more to it. All right, so run level, pattern. I guess there's a couple other things. Yeah, not a whole lot to it. The other way to work with services is with the systemd module. So let's make, let's see, let's go back into our same playbook. This time I want to use tags. I talked about it in my last video, but did not actually use it. So I'm going to call that tags httpd. So now we're going to install, what's another service that we should do? First thing that came to mind was VSFTP, but that's what Sander van Vogt uses in his book a good bit of times. I want to try to be a little different than that. What would be a good service? TuneD is already installed. Maybe we'll do MariaDB. All right, so yum name MariaDB, state installed, state present, and now we're going to enable this service. So, I'm not sure if we can enable with the systemd module, but we'll find out. So configure MariaDB, systemd module. The name is going to be MariaDB. I believe that's the name of the service as well. And I know there's a note that talks about if you're in a chrooted environment, you have to say the actual .service. We'll say state is started. And now I need to consult the doc, because usually I use the service module rather than the systemd module. Okay, so there is an enabled option for that. Awesome. The thing that I would see you using systemd for is this masked option. So that way, in addition to maybe disabling a service, you would use masked to make sure that it can't possibly start. So that I don't think you can do with the actual services module. You'll have to use the systemd module for that. You can also do the daemon reload, which if you make a change, this will allow systemd to reread all of its unit configuration files and such. So we'll do the enabled. All right, state started, enabled, yes. And tags, I'm just going to do tags db for this. Actually, we're going to try something real quick. So Ansible playbook. Is it list tasks or task list? I think it's list tasks. Well, there was a syntax error anyway. I really need to get in the habit of reading that more closely. Did not find expected key. Well, maybe I'm doing tags wrong. Just like in my last video, I'm running into things I need to review that aren't actually related to what I'm doing. All right, so just for the sake of time, I don't use tags that often, so that's clearly something I need to review. I'm going to remove them and we'll just run the playbook. It bothers me that tag syntax isn't right, but I don't want to go off on too much of a tangent. I'm specifically wanting to work with services here. Okay, I'll bet it's MariaDB server. So what we can do, Ansible lab rel an01. Let's see how well I remember my systemctl commands. So systemctl, pretty sure it's list units type service. Actually, I need to use the shell module for this because I'm going to need to pipe this. grep. I think I want list all units type service. Pipe grep Maria. Let's see if I remembered that correctly. Of course not. So is it list units all then? Yeah, list units all. That's it. That's what happens when you don't use commands all the time. Let me SSH into this. If I spell systemctl, that will be useful. Maybe I needed to do MariaDB-server for that. While we're in here, DNF, search MariaDB. You can tell I don't use MariaDB that often either. Otherwise, I'd have this memorized. That's what I get for trying to be clever. But oh well. It'll, sometimes little things like this, when you try stuff and you forget, sometimes it actually helps it stick in your memory a little bit longer. Yeah, MariaDB-server. So let's exit. I'm curious now since I'm in here. Sudo DNF install MariaDB-server, and we'll get the name of the service. I know that's not the Ansible way of doing it, but I'm more interested in getting the service name. Oh, so it will be MariaDB service. I just have to have the actual server installed. Makes sense. All right, so let's go back to our service test. Change this to server. I foresee this working pretty well. So I'd say for this objective, the understanding of how to use the service module and knowing where to go with the systemd module, even though I don't have that committed to memory. I think that's a pass for me. My failure would be the, not remembering about MariaDB-server. So let's do one more labrel, or Ansible labrel an01 a systemctl status MariaDB. Of course, _b is not, and =b is not correct either. I'm trying to go too fast. And that looks good. Enabled, loaded, active. Excellent. So I think for this overall, I'm pretty well prepared to handle some tasks about services and such on the exam. If you enjoyed the content of this video, make sure you do click like, and if there are others out there that you think would benefit from watching it, feel free to share it with them. I want to thank returning subscribers again for watching another video and invite everyone to subscribe if you haven't yet. Don't forget to leave comments and such. I will respond as I have both time and ability. Thanks for taking the time to watch, and I'll see you the next time.